There's the double elimination bracket just getting started. Only one team will make it out of CIS to represent the region on their home turf, first ever major in Eastern Europe. I'm LD. I'm joined here by Gods. And Gods, Navi, they always seem to like at least make a run when you least expect it, give you a good showing, but they crushed their fans' hearts in game one. Come on, Navi! What do they have to do to get it together? Like, what really was the big turning point, or what was lacking from them, do you think, in that first game?
It was just that, I think, decisive shot calling in the mid to late game. Navi set themselves up for success with the draft, with the way they played the early game. General was fantastic. I think the draft was fine. I don't look at that game and say, oh, they should have come game two, ban this hero instead, or adjust the draft in such and such way. I think I look at it more as far as the shot calling went. That was where they could have won the game. They just missed some of their opportunities. That second Roshan, the way they sieged the high ground with that Luna Butterfly BKB timing. And credits off to VP. They defended incredibly well, but Navi just didn't respond or react at all when they got initiated on and really set them up for that big vacuum. So I think they just need to be a bit more decisive and have a clear direction. They're going to go for the Denny Magnus. That's one way you can try and take a game two.
All right. Well, I did mention the TI5 qualifiers where Navi had
direction. They're going to go for the Denny Magnus.
Crazy
That's
base
one way
hold
you can
with
try and
Denny
take
Mag.
a game two.
That was back. All right. Well, I was still playing for Navi. They would run that like Troll Mag Void, I think it was, for Phonic.
Yeah.
They would just go for like this big wombo combo, like press R and just win the game type lineup, and Phonic usually lose all the early. They would just go for like this big wombo combo. Like, I don't know if you can get away with that against VP because they just a little sloppy in the laning stage, but their late game execution is very crisp generally.
Yeah, I think against VP you can get away with it. Like, they'll probably have a better early game, but they won't necessarily win those mid to late game team fights because VP is just so good when it comes to positioning and getting good initiations and execution off on their team fights. So I feel like when Navi can beat a team like VP, often does somewhat resolve around the early game a bit. So we'll see what VP go for a very different opening though. As soon as the Magnus is picked up, they insta grab Rubik as insta disable, but also for the RP steal. Omni Knight picked up as well. Wow, that's definitely a kind of a curveball out of VP side.
Yeah, I don't think they've run Omni at all in the group stage. I don't see. Yeah, he was not picked, at least not according to Dota Buff. So, unless Dota Buff is lying, they have not run the Omni in the group stage. Definitely like a good counter to big team fight. I guess that's the nice thing about Omni, repelling your carry. Sure, maybe he gets RP'd, but still going to be more difficult to bring down. And most importantly, just dropping the GA when Navi goes for that big wombo combo.
Yeah. And while not played in the group stage, historically something VP is still comfortable with. They played a bit like in Dota Pit. They played it during the DSC qual. I say played it, they didn't really play those qualifiers, but they picked it. So they've always liked the Omni Knight, typically in that 3-position role for Pasha. But haven't felt the need to go for it yet in this qualifier group stage. Perhaps suggesting they still have some picks and strats up their sleeves they haven't pulled out and they may be saving here for the playoffs.
Guys, I do like Navi's adjustment here to grab the Ogre in the first phase because I'm pretty sure if they don't grab it now, VP would be banning it. So
yeah,
good adjustment by them. And even though that laning stage turned out, I mean, the lanes weren't really that amazing. It was much more like as the lanes broke down around 7 to 15 minutes when General started to pop off. But the Ogre gives them something that could take over much earlier.
And a lot of the heroes are going to get benefit from the Empower and kind of these like melee, not super fast right-clicking hero. I mean, the Jug perhaps one of the heroes that doesn't need the Bloodlust as much, but the heroes are going to get a lot of benefit from the Bloodlust. Like, they already want to go into right-click melee DPSing heroes like the Void, the Jug ban, the Legion ban, maybe an Ursa-type hero comes to mind. Heroes that can get a lot of value out of having a Bloodlust on their side. So securing it early on, something VP would have likely banned out.
Yeah, whatever carry Navi picks is going to be a beast. And, well, 2 of the potentials get removed here. The Juggernaut that I mentioned, they had a lot of success with in the group stage. Annoying hero for the Rubik and the Omni to deal with because you can't reliably be a beast burst him with all that nuke damage if he just gets off a simple spin. And obviously goes really well with the Bloodlust, with the Empower. So Navi removing now the OD. There's no one. VP gonna up the tempo. They grab the Ursa.
Navi's turn to pick.
We've seen the Ursa fairly successful, at least in the few qualifier games that I watched. Did a lot of work in the was it the Faceless Mineski series earlier today? I want to say over in C.
Yeah, there was
10 seconds
a
remaining.
faceless. Sorry, Mineski versus Clutch Gamers.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
Dire team pick.
Yeah, I think I'm getting ahead of myself. I believe that Faceless Mineski series actually happening now.
yeah,
But Navi go for the Leshrac. Now that's a bit of a surprise.
yeah. I think it's like a somewhat preferred support for one of
10
our men's. Like he's got the
remaining.
kind of funky hero pool. Like he plays a lot of the support Sand King, where I've seen him play the
5
support
seconds
Leshrac. So
remaining.
I feel a big part of this Lesh pick is it's a comfort pick for RMN and something that he can be a bit of a playmaker on, go around the map on, and it just gives them more time to see what VP are picking before they pick up their carry and their offlaner, so they can hold on to their core hero picks till their last 2 slots. But the CM doesn't reveal much. And now it makes more sense. You want to save the Enigma and then be able to ban out something, but you are picking Enigma into Rubik still, so there's still some risk involved with this.
Yeah, I guess they're figuring, Rubik can't steal Black Hole and RP easily, right?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. Maybe if he gets the
Turn
eggs.
to
But
ban.
Leshrac very frail, though. I guess that's the one concern.
Yep.
But how are they going to run the Enigma? Does this maybe even become like a core Leshrac? Is this an offlane Enigma?
It'll be an offlane Enigma, most
10
likely. I'm
seconds
pretty
remaining.
certain RMN plays the Lesh in that 4 position role, so we'll see the Biver on
5
Ogre. He's
seconds
going to be that
remaining.
5 position Ogre. Offlane Enigma kind of. It's one of those things where you're not picking it purely for the Black Hole. It
Reserve
does
time.
have a teamfight presence with Black Hole, but it's a hero that can be annoying by constantly denying range creeps. He guarantees farm. He picks up a mech for the team. He gets a lot of levels if he wants to go for the Midas route. And big teamfight one-with combo. Magnus, Enigma, tons of potential to win a teamfight, assuming you can make sure the Rubik doesn't get his hands on those spells. Kill him off first, perhaps, or at least make sure you keep him out of the fight.
And Navi certainly with a fearsome late game, though the carry pool getting a little more limited as the troll was banned. Also a nice ban, I think, because Navi already pushed pretty well. But that is not the direction they want to go. They opt for the
Dire
Slark.
team pick.
Good hero gets the Ursa, just being able to jump away from him, having the Shadow Dance to be a nuisance in these team fights, and obviously can make Rubik and CM's lives a living hell. VP really don't have good lockdown for him. No Disruptor this time
10
around.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, 2 very squishy supports. No good AoE stuns
5
or
seconds
lockdown to hit him in like Invis and the Shadow Dance. So I think that Slack pick will perhaps make them think a bit longer about their
Reserve
last
time.
pick as far as mid laners that can deal with the Slack, or perhaps they even consider sending the Ursa mid and getting a carry that can match up a bit better. But not entirely sure what that pick's going to be. A lot of the heroes that you normally pick against Slack are like offlaners or supports who have a lot of good control, lockdown, silences. Those aren't really qualities you often get from like a carry type pick. So does present some difficulties for Navi, who seem to be very dead set on the Slack. Like they picked that very quickly coming out of the banning stage. Options were limited with Jug, Legion, Troll, or Band. The Ursa was even taken in. Well, they say let's not pick a hero that counters the Slack or deals with the Slack. Let's just pick a strategy that we think we can win with. And it's going to be an Alchemist game for VP.
Yeah, in a game where it looks like Navi want it to go late, VP are like, we could potentially do that too, and beat you to the punch with a whole bevy of amazing Aghanim Scepters candidates should it get to that point.
Oh yeah, it's actually a sick point to
Like
know.
the Rubik one especially feels really juicy with a mag and an Enigma in the game.
Yeah. I like the Slack pick because it's a hero that can actually get to the Rubik and just ignore the other heroes, kill the Rubik first, and that really will enable the Magnus and Enigma to get off big ultimates in these team fights. So I imagine Rubik may be one of the top priorities for the Slack to get on top of, but yeah, the Alchemist is a problem here. They're gonna VP are looking for that like 3-4 big items on an Alchemist and then just start taking control of the game. I don't know how late they really want to go. It's kind of like that 25 to 30 minute stage where Alchemist is like 5-6 slotted where they kind of peak. Beyond that, yeah, the axe pooling is going to be really nice, but you want to be ahead once you start pulling ags. If you're even around that 30-minute stage, you're perhaps in trouble. You always want to be playing ahead with an Alchemist.
Well, obviously, when you talk about being ahead at the 20 to 30 minute stage, you'd also ideally like to look at like, will you get that strong start in the lanes, help secure the bounty runes for the Alch. Not as amazing as they used to be with only the double bonus, but still more of them and perhaps a bit more reliable to grab for the hero. So do you, I guess, like, looking at how that early game will go, do you feel like VP's going to get out to a hot start? The CM, Rubik, Omni Knight is your 3 main heroes that could move around and make some plays early. On the side of
30
Navi, you've got Ogre.
to battle.
He's the big hitter, but outside of that, can Navi match up to them in this laning stage?
Yeah, they can. And they've got Ogre going up against like the Rubik CM. CM typically wants to like jungle a fast level 2, get the Brilliance Aura. Navi gonna contest the bounty rune here. They want to fight early on, but VP are ready for this. VP may win this fight.
They're moving in very aggressively. Fiverr up in front and gonna get to work is Pycat.
The battle begins.
Forced to skill up the pounce here. I would love to have that essence shift in the lane potentially, and still the chase on the Biver. Pasha has the boots, and the stun comes out from the Lesh just to help secure the retreat.
I'll take that.
Hoping to catch VP sleeping, but not the case.
I mean, in hindsight, no one should have gone for either Acid or Unstable Concoction. They would have gotten First Blood, and First Blood and getting a bounty rune with no greed is better than getting the bounty rune. But he thought his teammates would be able to get a kill without the greed, without the stun or the acid. But unfortunately, no kill for VP means just the bounty rune for the Alk.
Yeah, especially now that you only get the double bonus with it.
Yeah,
the 2 times bonus.
he just went for the greedier option, and I think his team was very close to getting a kill or two. They were just slightly a little bit short of killing that Slack. He did have to use the pounce to escape, so still a win for VP. It just could have been better for them if they get that First Blood.
By the way, I have not heard this, like, that's like the Leshrac disco, right? The Armin's little soundtrack that comes out randomly.
Yeah, it's...
I was like, did I leave something open in the other window? Because I have not seen this in the game.
Yeah. What YouTube video is left?
Yeah. Oh god, I hope they don't see my porn.
Yeah. LD, that's only me when I'm streaming. Don't worry.
Yeah, we have quite a sordid history, don't we? Well,
Yeah.
Pasha trying to run away here. Does not have a point of repel, but the pounce a miss by Pycat. That's probably First Blood. I think. Yeah, maybe could have TP'd out, but either way.
If he hits, I think if they hit either the stun or the pounce, they didn't even need both. I think either or likely would have been a kill, but he broke some ankles there with that Boots movement speed. He is still getting zoned out, which is kind of annoying for him, but ultimately this is, I think, good for VP that the Alchemist is not being contested by the Ogre, so Alchemist getting more farm as a result in his lane.
So it is in fact General is the offlane Enigma for now. Just farming up the woods. Grab the early Windlays. As Dendy holding mid, doing quite well. 11-3 so far. The Alchemist of no one, 10-0. But off to a good start here, and did opt for that 1 point in Empower to help secure his early farm.
You won't be able to get quite the same CS as the Magnus in the mid lane, but you'll still have the jungle to fall back on. You'll get enough farm. You're just worried about dying and getting rotated on. So, as it stands, both teams taking a greedy approach to the early game. General in the jungle, even Solo in the jungle as well in the Crystal Maiden. Hasn't gone for the aura at level 2. We'll go for it now at level 3. Perhaps there was a kill opportunity at top, or wanted to at least have that extra nuke damage to fight around. Bottom lane though, Pasha, TP's out just in time from a initiation of the Navi side.
Man, he is squishy, huh? He instantly repel TP'd and still almost died, so he'll pop the shrine on the way back out to the lane, but does say, you know what, I need the stout shield, I just need a little bit of survivability in the early laning stage.
This is definitely the weakness of the Omni Knight as a core. It can get zoned pretty effectively by most heroes, and they're going for a full-on tri-lane. It's a hero that needs levels. That's even needs quite a bit of farm. Instantly gets pounced on the second he comes back to lane, forces another repel.
They see he doesn't have a TP. I think they want to make a move on this. As I completely lose control of my mouse, but yeah, Biver trying to dive. Still
doing
though,
a good job hugging the right side of the trees, knowing this rotation could come in, but
Lil does have a
knowing
TP, so they have to be
one thing.
careful about this.
Yeah. There's a Boots, Null Talisman, Rue. I saw Lily side with a Null Talisman because he wants to just have this extra right-click damage and stats, and yeah, TPM from a Rubik could punish a dive at this bottom lane.
He's already fantasizing about that plus 60 damage talent.
Oh yeah, that's juicy. Top lane, Ramsey's getting aggressive, making a solo kill here.
General does have the tango going. I'm not sure it's going to be enough though. Turns and gets the Malefice off, at least hoping for the return kill. Armen moving in, has the lightning. Can he finish Ramsey? He's like, give me that Eidolon. No Eidolon for you. Armen will find the counter kill, but still found the first blood in the end. So VP overall going to be happy with that. Plus, it's an offlane Enigma, quite a bit of experience to be giving up.
Yeah, I guess the other side is Iron Man suddenly gets level 4 as a support, which is a support that wants to do well, but yeah, getting a first blood on Ursa. Ursa even spent his money, so he bought his phase boots before dying, which meant that Ramses didn't even lose money for going down there. And level 4 means
Is this his standard build, by the way, on the Lesh going for the lightning build? I know it got buffed quite a bit in 7.0.
Yeah, from what I've seen for the support Lesh, it's pretty standard. You may see him go back for the Edict like around level 5, 6, 7, and start leveling it up. But I don't see it early on very often.
Oh, that dire
have one or two lightning.
Oh, Iron Man almost just managed to like dodge the scan and then ran in at exactly the wrong time.
And I like that Iron Man. He gets the ward down in the Alchemist jungle, so they can keep tabs of him. At least may set up some ganks on him if he ever is jungling on very low HP. Lesh Ogre pretty support to rotate in there, so they will get eyes in this dire jungle nice and early on.
Pasha getting pounced on, pressured a bit bottom. Not really much kill potential, and that is the annoying thing about this offlane Omni. As long as he doesn't make any like facepalm-worthy mistakes, you're probably not killing him without a big commitment.
Pasha's definitely been one of those very stable, reliable offlanes ever since he's made this transition. He's been very impressive for VP. Not dying against a tri-lane who's constantly being able to find initiator. We may have just jinxed him because there is a rotation from behind coming from Iron Man. He gets the ward down behind the tower. They really want to kill this Omni Knight. They're so dead set on it. Whether or not they can is another matter because of the repel.
Yeah, the downside to this build, though, is not going to be able to like transition that into a quick tower push with no points in Edict. And Pasha, he's wise to these tricks, will just hunt RMN a bit, force him out of the jungle. In fact, backup coming from Solo. Almost in range for Crystal Nova. Will connect on Viper. Now the heal from the Omni, a little bit of extra chip damage, and with that, will be forced away. All the while, that Arcane Aura just helping to fuel this aggression.
Yeah. The Arcane Aura is so nice in games like this where you Omni can spam the heal a bit more, get some more farm, doesn't have to get the Arcane Boots as early. And top lane being pressured now by VP.
Ramses being pursued a bit. There is a black hole available, actually. The stun comes through onto Lil. He's not level 6 just yet. The lightning slow connecting as well. Can they find the kill? Lil getting cut off at the pass. The Malefice is there. It's level 2. Might be able to muscle him down with a couple auto attacks. They'll chip him into submission. We'll find that kill in the end. And a nice one at that. That's a Rubik who's very close to level 6.
Yep, you hold your tower, which was taking quite a bit of damage at a good time. They even get the D-ward up immediately afterwards since they recognize what was going on there. And yeah, General with this black hole is posing a decent threat on this top lane, has plenty of mana to sustain himself with the Arcane Boots for now. So a top lane that Navi are not going to give up without a fight. Ursa not known for his great pushing capabilities. Has managed to do some good damage, but may struggle to finish off the rest of the tower. Will have a fast Helm of the Dominator, though, and that's a very good early game item pickup at this point.
So Ursa just getting absolute free farm as we can see the Helm of the Dominator well under construction. The early Roshan potential definitely there for this team with also the level 4 Acid Spray, and no one about to, in fact, already has completed the arm, like coming on the Courier, now building towards the Radiance. A lineup that can take Roche early, and so I guess the question is, when VP makes that move, Gods, can Navi contest? Will they contest?
And they'll have an RP, I guess. I mean, they haven't got RP yet, but Dendy's just holding the skill points, going greedy, going for the farm build. Nice little Rune Deny top by Solo, but Dendy's going to come in and look to finish off this kill. Just to support CM, but you take what you can get at this point. And
you say just, but has found the shrine, and they don't want to dive too far for that.
Just stolen up top. Rubik gets Split Earth, which is a nifty little steal. Either that, I mean, that or the Lightning Storm, both are good spells to have at this point for the Rubik.
Yeah, better him than the Lesh with the no cast animation, that's for sure.
But yeah, right now, I mean, Deadly's playing this greedy Magnus build, going for the max in power. He's going to be going for this build that I think he was one of the first players to really do this, rushing the Echo Saber and just playing the farm game. Then he'll go, like, probably Echo Saber normally into Blink Dagger. He even later on gets items like Orchid for his team, BKB. It's much more of a fighting right-click Magnus build, but you're not going to be able to win the greed battle against him now. They actually got the kill bottom.
You know, I said probably not going to die unless he makes a facepalm-worthy mistake, but Pycat just think surprising him with the amount of bonus damage from the Essence Shift. It was one hit away from getting out, but one extra hit, all they needed. And
The
now
other surprise is the max Dark Pack. Normally you have max Pounce, or at least it's atypical to max the Dark Pack by 7, but definitely makes sense against this Omni Knight.
And especially if you just want to clash early in general, you really want the bonus damage and the low cooldown, because VP have lots of like easily dealt with spells that you want to be able to remove, whether it's the CMs, Crystal Nova, the Frostbite, the Rubik, Stolen Split Earth potentially. This tower will get pushed in top, and VP will get first blood as far as that goes. But the trade coming bottom with RMN, Pycat teaming up, they'll get their own tier 1, so not too shabby on their end. Navi holding their own nicely in this early laning stage, but you can see the Alk effect beginning to set in as they start to really pull ahead in net worth.
I mean, it's been a game of greed from both teams, but it's like, who needs to stop being greedy first? And I would say it's definitely Navi. Around the time they get the Echo Sabers, before no one gets out of control and out, they want to start fighting. That's going to come from Slark going probably an Echo Blink build. RMN. Up in no man's land.
I paused to like take a drink of coffee, and I just see on the mini-map this purple dot just taking a long walk way out of position, but I guess went for the deep ward and got punished for it.
Roche going on. I think Navi know. A smoked up CM popped, and yeah, they catch wind of what's happening. Dendi actually got an invis room, which I believe there may be no detection for at this point. Sentry's dust unlikely to be purchased outside of dewarding purposes, so smoke up, and Dendi can just reveal this with his invis. Okay, there's a sentry ward. Dendi has not walked into it just yet.
Awkward fight to walk into here with Lil poised on the high ground. They really don't want this Rubik to steal a big spell. Dendi marching forward. They're kind of playing coy, and now they'll lift him. They'll drop him back into the stolen stun. He's low. The Alk follow-up is there. He has to skewer away, and that really limits their ability to engage into a fight. Shockwave coming through. Ramses will get stunned by the Roche bash, but not going to matter. He grabs the Aegis. VP claim what's rightfully theirs, and they do so without giving anything up. Meanwhile, Dendi, almost going down mid.
He stole like a shockwave there instead of the Empower. That would have been a kill. Empower actually a fantastic steal. You've got Ursa on your team. Alchemist also alright, but mostly for the Ursa. That is very nifty spell to have. Maxed out already. So we'll see some power farming for no one in the jungle with this. He's almost got Radiance already. This is one of the faster Radiance timings you'll see. Like that 12-13 minutes is like the dream for an Alchemist. You can kind of hit like an 11-minute one for like the best game possible, but the new bounty runes, it doesn't seem like those kind of timings seem to happen anymore. So very fast Alchemist item timings, and that's going to be a bit of a concern for Navi, who are going to be looking to win a few big team fights off of the Black Hole, the RP. They aren't going to match up the Alchemist in terms of farming efficiency.
I mean, that's the thing though, right? Is they're so reliant on these big ultimate cooldowns, whereas VP pretty much no cooldowns, especially later in the game when the Alk has that Octarine. He'll always be ready to fight. So Navi have to make it count, and it almost feels at this point like they're going to be paralyzed by fear of wasting the ults, or you know, maybe they get a kill, break the Aegis, and then they have nothing to defend their base with. VP, on the other hand, they can always fight.
Yeah, I think that this is the kind of game VP love to play. This passive laning stage early game. I kind of talked about this last game, like games where there's only 3, 4, 5 kills in the first 10-15 minutes. That's a pretty standard VP game. It's not a team that looks to get aggressive early on. They hit their stride come mid-game with their item timings, and that's what's about to happen. The blink on Ursa's just been picked up. He's got an Aegis to back it up. Ramses is looking to get aggressive, but he is in a kind of a 1v3 scenario up top. He may not know it, is the thing.
Yeah, he's got to really want this kill. You're an Ursa at this stage with a blink and an Aegis. You're looking to jump in. They're going to TP one up to join Ramses. He goes in on Biver, and that allows General to safely back away. Armen there with the kiting slow, so they will retreat. They almost managed to crack that Aegis, in fact.
Yep.
But not
good
quite.
damage being done. But I think Navi kind of start to peak around their blink timings. It looks like both Pycat and Dendi likely to go for them, with both rushing the Echo Saber. This is a Slark build that typically follows the Echo Saber with a blink, not the Shadow Blade, but could still see either item. Shadow Blade's still nice because it's going to force constant sentries to be purchased, and you can kind of play that vision game with it. But Pycat runs into Omni Knight, gets caught in the black hole, so General will take the free kill. Perfectly fine black hole. Solo kills at this point for Navi is better than nothing, and they haven't been using these
Oh,
ultimates.
this would
so
be a
they'll use
big
the
kill
RP or
too if they
Black
can
Hole.
find Lil, but he lifts up the Lesh, he stuns him, manages to steal the Pulse Nova, jukes into the trees as Biver gives chase, but Ramses is coming in hot and heavy. Ursa looking to turn this one around, he'll carve up the Leshrac, and now they turn back for Biver. They're going to fight 2 for the price of none as Lil swags all over them.
Middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, nicely played, nicely baited. Pycat wants to get this mid tower, but I don't even think he's gonna be able to get that.
They commit the RP. Pasha, though, is able to tank through this for the time being. He even drops the GA now with the self-propel that is going to be wearing off relatively soon. The commitment from Pycat finds the kill. Can he get Lil as well? Crystal made an ultimate, drop 2, and they will lose their Slark for an Omni Knight. Hardly seems worth it. The tower to be denied momentarily. That ends a killing streak on Pycat, and it shuts down his farm. And RP on cooldown, Black Hole on cooldown. It's push time, baby, if you're VP.
Yeah, good call from Omni there, using the tree repel before he TPs in. Ramsey's not done. He's just going kill by kill with this Aegis to back him up, and the Blink picked up this early on. He is starting to just snowball out of control in terms of getting kills, and he's doing this while an Alchemist continues to free farm away. 12k net worth on no one's Alchemist, completely untouched as far as his overall farm goes. He is going to hit like a truck once he gets this like Manta Octarine. He's going to be very tough to deal with.
I mean, do you like the overall game plan here from Navi, going for a Midas on general? Obviously, Dendi maxing and power very early. Like, feels like they see the Alc pick as the final selection by VP, and they say, you know, we still want to take it late. We really love this team fight composition, how well we can scale with Bloodlust and power. Is that the right call against VP?
I don't think it was the right call, but I also don't think they had a better option in some ways. So I guess it was the right call because there was just no better option. It was like it's a tough game plan to do against an Alchemist, and that's where the Alchemist pick was so good this game, because Navi were kind of locked into playing this farming game. That's how they run the Magnus strats in general. Enigma is, I mean, I don't think there's anything too abnormal about General's build. You can go for like a push Enigma strat if you've got a pushing carry and you've got like a Chen on your team, then you go for like a mech into a pipe. But in a game where you've got a Magnus and a Slark, it's a farming game, and that's where the Enigma mech makes total sense. So I don't really feel like any of their players could have done much different with their build. If you go for like a Blink first on Magnus, and you try team fight, VP will just avoid you. They'll farm the jungle with the Alk, they'll split push with the Omni Knight. Like they're just going to play keep away if you try and force team fights. So playing the farming game, even though a losing farming game, to me it was the best option possible. They're just going to have to try and find some team fights to back it up now.
Iron Man doing his best Cindered impression here. Off on his own, dropping wards, and off on his own, dying again. By the way, this Rubik is just so far. Lil already 5k gold, has the Blink, has the Arcanes, on his way to an Aether Lens. And he's done it all while roaming, while pressuring. 5 assists. He's been in on 5 out of 7 kills. Just a tour de force here by the Rubik.
Yeah, he's probably getting, like, seeing how well farmed his Alkas is like, oh, I don't even need to farm an Ags. I'll eventually get one at a decent time, so goes for the Aether Lens rather than any kind of an Ags rush type build. You lose the Omni Knight. We have seen Pasha maybe getting picked off once or twice, just kind of off on his own. He's going for a minus of his own, which is going to be coming up a bit slower than you'd perhaps hope for. Dendi, RP mid.
This is a big commitment. They need this outkill. They're going to find it, too. Catching him without the Chemical Rage ready. Does not yet have the Manta of the Octarine.
Oh, can they get more?
Looking for the Omni Knight. Pycat pouncing through, but it does, the repel goes off, so he hits nothing but air. In general, unable to Black Hole. Has to be really cautious about it. They have seen the Lil Blink now, so they know moving forward that Black Hole needs to be very patiently waited.
The thing with Navi's lamp is they definitely can win the late game. If anything, like if this game's going like 40-50 minutes, I think Navi's draft I would slightly favor, depending on how the Rubik is kind of the X factor. If Lil can steal some big spells and have a fantastic game, then maybe less so. But like there's Alk gets very far ahead early, but the lineup will peak around 30 minutes. So Navi's game plan is very much like, yeah, we're going to be behind for the next little while in terms of gold, but if we can get kills here or there on the Alchemist, that's a bunch of comeback money. It's also just buying us time where we can just farm for the late game, because Navi are going to be just all about that late game, hitting those big RPs, black holes to kind of take it to VP later on.
It's definitely different from last game where they went for the double BKB mid-game carries, and it really did feel like Navi was going to be on a timer because sure, Sniper Luna scales well late, but Sniper was just never going to get that level of farm when you compare how quickly like a Gyro and Ember can CS.
So
This time around though, they have the Empower, they have the Midas on the Enigma, and they have the lineup that does want to go late.
Yeah, and you mentioned, you kind of alluded to some of their past games where they'll get behind, like, and they'll just be playing those Magnus strats and get behind 10, 15k gold, and all it takes is one late game RP, and suddenly you've turned the game around. So
it's the Shawade TI3 strat. Just
yes,
just
lose 3 lanes,
lose the
game.
lanes, win the game.
Yeah, big 5-man team fight, high ground defense.
Yeah, they don't have a Yao Magnus though. They've got Dendi, who's been okay so far. We haven't really seen him have to come up super big just yet.
Yeah, I mean, so far it's been solo kills. RP getting solo kills on the Alchemist mid, Black Hole getting solo kills on the Omni Knight. This is very much like a, your opponents are playing both teams are still in the farming stage, and Navi is happy to try and take advantage of VP split up farming by using ultis for solo kills on cores. Once VP start 5-manning, which I think comes around the Octarine core timing, that's where Alchemist is probably gonna hit his like first real like, okay, I'm ready to fight now kind of timing. Maybe he thinks it's the Shivers, like the Octarine plus the Shivers, where you get the armor item as well. Kind of depends if he dies again, but he's still very far ahead, so he may be looking to fight fairly soon.
Jump onto RMN. Ramses will get the bash. Will find the kill, and now the RP to counter-initiate. Cleaving through two, and now chasing onto that Ursa. I think Pycat can hunt him down. There's the skewer. Ramses getting slowed down. He's going to have to turn and fight the hole. Still ready, and General not going to use it. Keeps him reserved. They bring down for Dendi. Well, I said he hasn't had to come up big just yet, Gods, and right after that, he delivers. Huge RP.
Yep. 3-man RP into, well, I mean, Slack just right clicks, but yeah, that's all you need is empowered Slack hitting everyone in the RP. Dendi doing even more damage thanks to his empower. That was just the perfect team fight. I mean, it was a 2-man team fight, really. It was all Dendi, all Pycat. They did 3k damage between them, getting all 3 of the Omni Knight plus the 2 supports, and then they clean up the Ursa as well.
And the dream situation with no Alk really around and not ready to take those fights just yet.
Yeah, it's kind of talked about, like, it's like the Octarine where the Alk is ready to fight. He gets a lot more HP, he gets the life steal, and he gets the short cooldown on Chemical Rage, so the uptime gets a lot greater.
I'm gonna go for this kill. He misses the pounce though. I don't know if he gets that kill anyway, as there's the evasion to worry about, but...
Yeah, no Chemical Rage for like 4 or 5 seconds. Would have been close at least. But, yeah, not going to get a chance to go for it.
Well, I'm feeling like VP is going to need some big plays out of Lil Gods with the way the game is going.
Yeah.
They're not just winning this purely on farm. In fact, Navi actually up in the network department. And trying to match them, Pasha has gone for a Midas of his own, now backing off towards his own mech. But as you mentioned, I think VP definitely less overall room to grow here. Omni ult can be game-changing, but if Navi hit all their spells with the RP, Black Hole, Slark, Empowered, and Bloodlusted, you're not winning those fights on even farm.
And Pasha's Midas came late. He died a few too many times. He's 0-5. Like, he's feeding this game, like, in some ways. Like, not to put too much blame, not blaming him or anything, it's just been, he's playing a tough role where his team more wants to farm, so he has to go, he's playing the create space farming hero where he aggressively farms down bottom, he's getting caught. We'll see VP head towards this Roche, they want to stop Navi from getting it.
They're going to try to contest, they do get that repel up on Ramses to start the fight. Dendi committing the RP, he only finds the Ursa, not sure that's going to be enough, a bit of a chaotic fight. General fishing for a Black Hole, has a BKB. Will he get it? Yes, the Rubik brought down Pycat, shredding these supports, but can't actually make it to Solo, who got pulled over the boundary of the Roshan pits back towards safety. Now Pycat ringing around the Rosie. No pockets full of Posey for him, has to back away in the end, so they lose the Enigma. They commit both big ults. They're going to buy back on Fiverr. Not sure how much he can actually do here. Pycat only has 6 Essence Shift stacks, not really a whole lot of damage compared to earlier, and VP, snag the Aegis, will get away. A bit surprised to see that buyback.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Navi needed to force a Roche fight either. They felt confident because they had the double ultis, RP and Black Hole, but the aggression from Ramses. Ramses knows he can just blink in unafraid. He's got an Omni Knight to back him up. He also just has Enrage. He blocks the majority of the damage thrown his way, so he blinks on the Magnus. He forces an RP and a BKB out of Dendi. If Dendi doesn't RP there, he just dies. So it's not necessarily a bad RP, it's
Radiant's
just not a
middle
good
tower
RP.
is
It's an
under
RP that had to be used to save his own
Dire's
life.
top tower is
At a
under
Roche fight,
attack.
if you dies there, then you've lost Roche anyway, so he's hoping that his team can win in the fight by staying alive, and that was just, I think, just too risky of a play for Navi.
Oh man, Pycat, he's going to try to go in here on Ramses. Is the backup coming? BOT's already up on no one and is able to rejoin the fight. Looks like a dieback for Biver, and a couple of swipes from those swords, and no one will make Chop Suey out of the Ogre McGee. So.
It's Navi, they win a fantastic fight with a 3-man RP and followed up. I mean, we talked about game 1, what can they work on, what needs to improve. It's the coming up with decisive shot calling that is the right calls. Like, they made a call to go for the Roshan, but very much a risky call they didn't have to make. Even with the ultimates, it was just too hard for them to deal with the Ursa, and now Navi find themselves back in a bit of trouble, but they're trying to fix that by going for this smoke gang.
They have RP, they're going to isolate, no one look to catch him out. Shockwave was stolen by Lil, not the ideal spell to grab. Can they chase this out down though? Gets off the stun, the repel, the armlet toggle keeps him alive, and now General in trouble, looking for the TP out. The stun coming in from RMN. Pycat will find the Omni kill, but now they want to get the hell away as Ramses is going to be free to do as he pleases. Disco pony for dinner. Ramses dancing on his grave. 1-for-1 overall. They commit the RP, but you know, with where the creeps are, you can actually drop an RP for a solo kill, and not too likely VP can really punish it.
Unfortunately for them, they don't get the Alk, but it's like that to me is still an okay trade for Navi, even though the Alk kill was the kill they were looking for. They're kind of just looking to, again, they're stalling this more for the late game. They have a fairly low cooldown on the RP. It's only 100. I mean, 100 seconds is not short by any means, but it's shorter than like the Black Hole, for example. It's something you can use a bit more freely to find these kills.
We'll take that.
A deep dive by Pycat. He sees one support instead. He grabs the other. Well, he's like, do I want chicken? Do I want pork? Do I want both? Couldn't have both that time, but this is where the Slark can really become a problem, gods. Like, anyone on VP who's on their own, even if they don't die, they're unlikely to win a fight against Pycat, I would say, at this stage. Even the Alk, like, Alk is not a 1v1 carry, really.
I actually really like Slack as a carry against Alchemist, and that's why I still think this game's in a pretty decent spot for Navi because of that matchup. This game dragging on, you've got Empower on Slack. He gets on Alchemist, it's very easy free Essence Shift, and all it takes for Slack is to get like 10, 20 Essence Shift, and you snowball very quickly in a given team fight, and then you have that for the next team fight. So this is a game where Pycat can have a fantastic game if it kind of continues at this rate. It's just going to take some, I think, more caution and patience from Navi. They don't need to force risky fights like that Roche one. They just need to wait for their moments, I mean, defending high ground is like the dream for Navi. Obviously, that's not, they don't want to be in a position where they're behind and VP's pushing high ground, but they don't have to rush this game. They have the better late game in my book.
Yeah, I think for sure, and you look at the overall itemization, selection, and the rest of the shot call, like it seems like that was the strategy. It's just their natural desire to fight kind of overtook them a bit. They're just so bloodthirsty. As they're having TeamSpeak in 2017, huh?
Yeah, it's not Ventrilo, at least.
Hey, at least Ventrilo was like a throwback classic voiceover IP program. There's no TeamSpeak Dota songs, okay?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Quickly resolved, at least, but Aegis still up for about a minute longer, and Ramses with a Shadow Blade has a second means of initiation.
They dropped the sentry. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Oh my God, he dies fast. Coming back for round 2, but they have to be careful not to clump on top of him as there's a Black Hole and an RP to worry about. And Pycat just working on Ramses, quickly purging off that Repel GA combo. Finds the kill. He can chase for more here. Getting pushed forward, pouncing in onto Solo. Could look to snare him if need be. Need does not be. They'll find the kill anyway. And man, this Slark is an absolute terror. Already feels like he is long since hit late game.
And Orchid Silence is just so great against the Ursa because he can't enrage out of it. He didn't get a chance. He lost that Aegis for free. They didn't have to commit any ultimates for it, and then they got the easy follow-up kills, being able to purge off the Guardian Angel. So even though he had the repel there was no way that he could survive against the physical damage. And Navi, they want to go for the high ground. They've got Edict. They push very fast, and without Ursa CM, this is a free round.
All right. It's kind of feeling like Game 3 as long as they don't throw it. They have the BKB Black Hole. They still have the RP available. They should not lose a fight to VP. even with VP having 5, there's no GA, so as long as they play it safe, play it smart, this is Navi's fight to take, and they're going to go in looking for a solo kill, and Lil Dindy will beat him down with that giant-ass hammer. Finds the kill. General, though, in trouble. General going to drop without getting off the hole. Oh, this could be where things turn around. Ramsey's, though, a bit scared. No one's starting to chop them up. The RP committed. Pycat lurching in onto no one, but he's quite tanky. Lesh stun. Is the follow-up damage there? Pycat still going to work. Now going to back away. Commits the Silver Edge for the retreat. So they get the Rex. Now they just want to get out. I think, again, it's Navi like, we can just win a fight now, win the game, guys. And then, oh, wait, we have the late game line. We don't have to go for it, but no one with the anticipation TP is going to find Pycat. Doesn't really have the backup to find the kill. But still good effort.
I think that's fine for Navi. Like, they didn't actually really overextend it. They got their melee racks. It was like a buyback from the Rubik that caught them by surprise a bit. And on top of that, they got all the kills. They stole the gem, which is a pretty big steal. It means the Slack doesn't have to worry about that. Actually, no, sorry, they got a different gem back. It looks like their own gem they recovered. So
all
they
right,
recovered their own gem. They didn't steal a gem.
Pycat back in action, trying to find this Ramsey's kill. He changes targets though. Back on the Omni Knight, 1 HP, or just about on the Ursa, but he'll limp away towards safety. General, he has a black hole. He didn't get to use it last time. Really wants to let it roll this time around. Not going to happen.
Fighting, as much as like Navi don't necessarily want to constantly fight with ultis down, Slack does want to constantly fight. He's using Essence Shift from the previous team fight. He's still got 27 Essence Shift procs, 81 Agi. Most of that came from that previous team fight. And that's where constant fighting is great for Pycat. With the Empower, with the lockdown and control, he is just constantly beasting his way through the VP lanes.
Yeah, like at like the 15 to 25, or maybe more like 15 to 20 minute mark, it felt like Navi couldn't take a fight without the ults. Now it feels like as long as Slark catches someone, that's basically a dead hero, or VP committing a lot to get them back to safety. And then you can snowball.
Yeah, they've got ultimates back up. They're ready to go for another poke and prod around this high ground.
Oh, nice Alk stun, and they need it, but don't think it's enough here. Ursa getting shredded. Pycat chewing through VP. He's hitting for almost 500 damage a pop, and he's got the Scotty slow to work with too. Locks down Solo, cleans him up on the Lil, upwards, and again looking for more as General reels in the Ursa with the black hole. They commit the Omni ult to try and stay alive, but back into the fray comes Pycat. He's bad, he's mad, and he's going to look to send VP packing, but doesn't quite have the damage just yet to get the kill. That top lane pushing in, though.
Pycat needs to reset. If he can heal up, he'll re-engage with his Essence Shift. He's got so much agi here. He just needs a bit of heal, and then he'll be looking to go back in. But VP, hold their high ground, pop the shrine, and we'll look to reset things for now.
Yeah, no RP, no black hole. They're down 2.
Here comes Pycat.
But he has so much stolen stats, he might actually just soul the Ursa. He will.
Die back.
They've got a Slark problem here, gods, and I don't know how they solve it.
There's not an easy solution.
He's going to get Butterfly soon, so you can't rely on bashing him to kill him. Alk has gone for standard carry Alk build, can't man fight, and is an easy solo kill in his own right.
The Slack has just been the pick this game, because I think you look at the overall game plan, I think there's concerns for Navi. The Rubik able to steal those big ultimates, and just not being able to match the Alchemist's farm, but what they can do is just catch these squishy supports. Slack has had a field day as far as farming the supports go, and even matching up against the Alchemist. Free Essence Shift for days. Pycat has been the man of the match so far,
and we just haven't seen those crazy swag plays from Lil. And it only gets harder now as Enigma has gotten a Lincoln Sphere to go with the BKB. So if he BKBs and then drops the hole and the Lincolns isn't broken, Lil has no way to steal it. There's nothing else to break it. Except the spell steal.
That's how you verse Rubik as an Enigma. You get the BKB and the Lincolns. It takes a lot of money. You're going to get both of these. And now he still doesn't have a Blink, which may be his next item, but at least it guarantees that you're not feeding away that black hole to a Rubik.
Well, they're trying to make this game as unthrowable as possible, but this is Navi we're talking about, so let's not count anything out just yet.
Yeah, I think though the hard thing is they just don't have a good answer. We've seen the Orchid just burst down this Ursa on multiple occasions and being unable to, like, up until like that first Roche fight, we saw Ursa jump in, no silence, just instantly enrages, takes on Dendi, but since then he's just being dealt with because of the Orchid pickup, and it's been a very value item for Navi, and until they get like a blink on Omni Knight, it may be hard to deal with that Orchid because Omni just isn't as mobile as the Ursa. Similarly, Ursa may just want to go for like a BK. Yeah, he's got a BKB queued up. He needs some defensive item of his own, and this Shadowblade pickup has not paid off for Ramses at all.
Navi looking for the killing blow here as they sweep around under cover of smoke, and Alkalusion guards the way. Navi know better though. They sneak past it, or try to.
Ward into. The ward is past the sentry. I don't think VP are going to be de-warding that one.
Yeah, fishy, fishy. VP might be saying, but Bycat, just not going to be an easy takedown. Calmly pick off the tower. And another pause. The voice issues continue.
Slight reprieve for both teams here to think about how they want to approach this one.
Do they really need to communicate at this point, Gods? Just put Slark in front and go hit buildings.
Yeah.
The man feels pretty immortal at this point. No, but
Slack, do your thing. I mean, Bycat, yeah, he can take the pub game approach. He's 14-1-7. I mean, it kind of has been. This is like a typical like Slack, like what you do see in pub games. So that's what Navi needed. They needed that just flashy solo play, go around, farm supports. Often Bycat's playing on his own, just because by playing on his own, killing the supports, it enables heroes like Magnus and Enigma to use their ultimates to get a solo kill here or there, and it's worked fantastic for them. So they'll stick to the game plan for now and hit some level 25 soon on Slack, so we're going to see one of his nice 25 talents. Probably the I don't know if you go Pounce Leash skill because the Repel gets you out of Pounce, but either one is going to just boost up his late game potential, and there's the Blink. So General now has the Blink Black Hole to help win Navi a team fight.
I mean, you go plus 12 stats, and this guy is sitting very close. In fact, will be over like a base 3,000 health Slark on Agi Treads. He's not dying.
He's going bootsless too. He feels good. He feels confident.
All right.
What's the MKB?
I can't say I blame him either. I was hoping we'd get a big fight where he had Essence Shift stacks and the DD rune just to see him hitting for like 800 plus a pop, but either way, he hits hard.
Yeah.
No more Radiance Evasion. VP really under the gun now. The siege about to begin, and all eyes on Lil. Can he find a big play? He's stolen in power, that's okay, but Pycat's still chewing through those illusions. Dark Pacting off the Alk stun. He has the Aegis for a bit longer. He's in pretty far, a bit too far. He's got a Shadow Dance to avoid losing the Aegis prematurely. Still a couple minutes on it.
Hero. You kind of just keep throwing, like you lift him, you pull him in, you throw an Unstable Concoction, and you can chip away at this slug, so pretty hard to push high ground with him.
I guess the most they can do is like put a Lincoln's on him, but that's not enough against all the single target.
They've got the Solar Crest as well, I believe. Leshrac with the Solar Crest, so that helps a little bit as well, but we'll see it again here. He's got no ultimate, so he needs to be a bit careful.
Well, he's going to leap away as they move in. Dendy with the RP, still available to hold to start things off. He's trying to find more. He whiffs on the RP, then skewering the other way, but he's got a refresher to work with. Looking for round number 2, no one. Surging forward onto the Enigma, going to bring him down. They've cracked the Aegis. Can they do it again? Pycat, quick stun, but Dendy's back into the fray. Lil looking for a potential spell steal. He gets in power. It's too long, the cooldown. And Navi carved the path through VP, looking to force the game 3. They'll bring down the tower. They work on the Rex, and Solo with the GG call. Well, Navi just had insurance policies upon insurance policies there, guys. There was almost no way they were losing the fight at that point.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. They got all the necessary items to make it a very low-risk push for the high ground, and all it took was getting vision of Ursa. The second they saw Ursa, Enigma's like, I'm going to solo black hole him because they don't need to hit a 4 or 5 man black hole. Once they kill the Ursa, they've still got RP to just, they can solo RP the Alchemist, and he knows that Rubik can't steal it. Rubik actually used spell steal on the Enigma, but there was nothing that had broken Lincoln, so there was no way to steal it. So he had him power for that entire last team fight. You talked about how Lil needed to come up big in that fight. There was no way to steal any of those big spells. The Lincoln's block, the RP came much later on when Rubik was already like kind of negated in the fight. So Navi have a very polished game number 2.
So heading into game 3, what adjustments do you expect from each team? Do you think Navi goes again for this kind of like heavy late game strat, the more foolproof type lineup? Will VP ban the Slark or something
they banned
similar?
the Magnus, I think. As much as like Slark was the bigger problem than the Magnus this game, I think it's too much of a comfort hero for Navi. Strategically, they work very well around the hero. I think that's the hero you ban in a game 3 decider against them. So I think for VP, the adjustment comes in the draft, banning Magnus. I guess you don't ban Ogre because that was a first stage pick. That's more like a second stage ban. Keep that out of Biva's hands. I think for Navi, it's the adjustment's got to be like the same with that they adjusted here. It's all about the shot calling. Navi have the early game, have the draft. They just need to have the polished game plan and shot calling to beat a team like VP.
All right. Well, if you want to come out of CIS as the qualified team, VP is a team you'll have to beat likely twice. I'd be shocked if they're not in the lower bracket or ultimately in that grand finals. But Game 3 coming up next. Navi have taken one off of them. VP no longer undefeated. There is a chink in that armor. Can they punch a hole through it and move into the winter bracket finals? We'll find out in a moment. I'm LD. He's Gods. You are watching the Kiev Major Qualifiers for CIS. We'll be right back.
E-Gaming Bets, online betting for every esports fan.